What's up, guys? Alex&Olena here, and this is our review channel. I have a new bag here to review for you guys. This is the Osprey Nebula Sling bag. It comes in a tan/latte color. It retails for $75. And yeah, before I move on, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel and leave any comments. If you like this, leave any comments you have around this review in the comments down below. Let's get on to it. All right, so let me talk about a little bit about this bag. First off, the Nebula series used to be just a series that had, it was a backpack. It was kind of like a day backpack. And Osprey decided to change up the design and include the Nebula series in a sling format. And so this is essentially like the Nebula day backpack in a sling format. So let's get on to the exterior. The entire makeup of this bag is a ripstop nylon. The back panel is an airscape back panel. It's padded here, padded quite well. It does have that airspace, so there's a mesh with like an air pocket under here, so that way when you on hot days when you're walking around, it allows airflow to go through when you're wearing this, and it helps to reduce any kind of sweat buildup. The strap is lightly padded. It is kind of like a foam material. You can see here from the side it's relatively thin. The strap itself has the ability to be ambidextrous for both left-handed and right-handed people. So you can wear this over your right or left shoulder depending on what you want. So there's that flexibility. I'll show you in a moment how that's done. You can switch the back from the right side to the left side. And then the same thing at the bottom. You can unclip this, and there's another clip on the bottom as well. And there is also a nice feature. It has a stabilization strap that can be attached to the strap itself. So when you're moving around, especially like when you're riding a bike or if you're doing some like aggressive movements, the sling bags have a natural tendency to slide around on your back. They can roll over or slide over, and this this stabilization strap will prevent it from moving around like that. Another thing I wanted to show on the strap itself, there is a mesh pocket here that's meant for your phone or other smaller items you can stick in here. It's quick access, and also the strap itself is advertised as being a kind of a similar to the airspace. It has like a mesh breathable strap that helps to prevent sweat buildup as well. There's a one grab handle on the top. It's slightly padded. It's not like overly padded, but it's there for easy grabbing of the bag itself. The Osprey branding is on the front here, and then you can see there's also another part where they've branded it the Nebula right down here. All right, let's get into the features of this bag. Let me talk about the pockets for this bag. So the first thing you'll notice is there is a mesh pocket on the front for quick access for items like you could put a jacket or an extra t-shirt right here, or you could put a water bottle. It's not super loose and it's not super tight either, but it does have enough rigidity to it that things like as long as you put something in here that makes it stretch tight, it won't fall out like spontaneously. So there's that. And then just behind it, there's another pocket here. There's a zippered compartment, and this has your has some organization in here. There are a few mesh pockets in here. You could put like a power bank or your AirPods in here. Then there's a pencil part here, and then there's another mesh pocket right there. Then there is a plastic key holder with the short strap, and the rest of it inside is just an open space. All right, so finally for the main compartment, you'll see that this actually opens up on both sides all the way down, and you can split the whole bag open. One side is a padded tablet / laptop sleeve. You can fit up to a 14-inch laptop in here. And again, I'll show a lot of this stuff a little bit here later in the video. I'll show me filling up this bag with a couple of different items so you see what it looks like. But yeah, this is padded. It's raised here so it doesn't touch the ground, so there is an elevated bottom to it. And then on the other side, you have a zippered pocket here that goes in about halfway down the bag. It's got a decent amount of space. And then the rest of it is just like so. And all of these zippers are, I assume they are YKK because Osprey does typically use YKK zippers for all their bags. But they also all have some nice zipper pulls, as you can see. And they are makes it easier to open and close the zippers. Okay, let me show you a capacity test. I'm gonna put a couple of items in here. First thing I wanted to show you is when you open this up for the laptop and the tablet, the laptop easily fits in there, no problem. So if you choose to use this is a 14-inch, I believe either it's a 14 or 15, but it says it advertises that this can hold up to a 14. So, but there's a laptop. If I decided I just wanted to use not a laptop but my tablet, put my tablet in here, no problem either. Plenty of room with the case on. So the tablet will go in. This is an iPad Pro 11-inch. You can put it in there with a case on it, so it's not it'll be able to handle that easily. I'll just go ahead and leave that in there. But let me zip this up. On the front here, I have a t-shirt, an extra t-shirt. I'm just going to kind of put that in there. That'll go in there, and then I'll put a water bottle in there as well. You can see those go in there pretty easily. And then if I want to carry around my Nintendo Switch, I can put that in there as well. And this is my EDC bag with cables, power bank, and other things. I could put that in here as well. It fits in there nicely. And then some sunglasses. So I'll go ahead and close that up. And you can see from all sides. I could probably fit a little bit more items in here, but right now it's about probably 75% full. I think this is probably a pretty good amount of stuff that you want to put in here. You don't want to go too far over, or else it'll just look too bulky and look funny. But yeah, that's your capacity test. Capacity is 11 liters. It has a height of 16.9 inches, a width of 9.1 inches, and a depth of 6.5 inches. All right, I'm gonna do a fit test, show you what it looks like when I'm wearing it and how you get it on. Just throw it over your shoulder like so. So, and I'll show you, just kind of give you all the shots of it at all angles. I don't feel any uncomfortable. It's not too bad actually. It feels relatively comfortable. You can see it side from the back side and the other side. And if you want to access your stuff quickly, normally with slings you'd slide it over and access your items, but with this one you can access your items, but it doesn't have like this. The pockets are actually, the way they've done the zipper is kind of like a traditional backpack, and so it doesn't make it overly easy to just get stuff from here because everything is kind of top loaded versus side loaded. So I can access this in my t-shirt pretty easily, the water bottle pocket, but anything in the main compartment, like if I wanted to grab the tablet or a laptop, it's not going to be as easy. I'd have to you can get it, it's not that hard, but it is a little bit more difficult, especially if you're if you're using this with like a lot of camera gear. it's just a bit different. I would say it's not too conducive to that. Let's see. One thing I did want to also point out is that the back panel is nice because it is rigid. It's rigid, so it doesn't like, you barely even feel it. It's like flat on your back. It doesn't have like bags that don't have any structure to them will like, they could have a weird feeling on your back. But yeah, let me go into my pros and cons now, and then my final thoughts and my rating. Let me talk about the things I like about this bag. So I do like the front mesh pocket. It comes in very handy. If you just want to slide stuff in there really quick, like a jacket or a t-shirt, and you just want to get to it real fast, like even a water bottle, their mesh pockets on these are usually, Osprey makes them pretty good. They're not like a cheap material. These aren't like your standard mesh. These are high quality mesh, and they have a lot of tautness to them that over time, they don't typically go bad over time like most other type of mesh pockets. That's one thing I really like about it. The other thing I do like is the fact that you can wear this bag, and when you wear it, you can actually, I forgot to show this earlier, but on the wear test, but this can be put on there like that, so it doesn't actually move around. If you don't have this here, the bag, well, it still doesn't, well, it does slide. See, it'll slide over, especially when you're riding a bike and you're hunched over, the bag will naturally just slide around your body. It prevents it from sliding around, which is nice. I do like that. I do like that function. But can we get this off? I do like the back panel. It is adequately padded. It is pretty nice, and it does have that airscape, which does provide some airflow, so you aren't gonna get, your back's not gonna get all sweaty really easily. I mean, it's not gonna prevent it from 100% from sweating, but it will sweat. So I do like that, and the fact that this pad itself, the strap is ambidextrous, you can switch it over. That is actually pretty nice, a nice feature of this bag. So if you prefer to wear it on one side over the other, you can make that switch at the drop of a hat. It's pretty easy. And I do like the laptop sleeve slash tablet sleeve. It is padded really well, and it does have a false or an elevated bottom, so it doesn't hit the ground when you put this. So it has protection from your laptop or tablet from it hitting the ground, which is really nice. So this is actually a really nice sleeve. Yeah, that about wraps it up for my pros of this bag. Let me move on to the things I don't like about this bag. So I want to talk about the things I don't like about this bag. So first thing is the strap itself. Although it is comfortable to wear, this strap is very, very thin and very, very minimally padded. I can see over a long day, especially if you have this pretty loaded up, pretty heavy, the padding itself, this strap, it just doesn't provide a lot of padding to it, so it could get uncomfortable over time. I've had Osprey bags in the past, slings, one of them in particular, the Daylight Sling. That one had like kind of a memory foam, and it was really padded. Although it did attract a lot of sweat, it wasn't like very like breathable. I still prefer that over this type. And I've noticed that a lot with a lot of Osprey bags, they've been moving to this. I don't know if it's because they're just trying to cut corners and make it cheap, but at the same time, they're trying to advertise this as some kind of like highly technical, breathable strap. But I think that's kind of a gimmick, and it's just they're cutting corners. And I feel like that original thing on the Daylight Sling that they had back in 2020 is the one I had. That was like awesome, and I really like that. And for whatever reason, they don't have that on this. The other thing is this strap, this pocket here. They advertise this as a quick access for your phone, but I tested this out with my iPhone 13 Pro, and with the case, it was barely able to fit in this thing, and it wasn't easy to get in and out. I had to like use two hands. So if you're wearing this and you want to put your phone in here, you can forget about doing it with one hand. You got to take this off and put it there. So this pocket to me was kind of pointless unless you want to stick something smaller in there. I don't know. credit card or something in there, but I just find this pocket to be kind of not very useful. The other thing I don't like about this bag is this main opening here. For whatever reason, it goes all the way and it splits open. I don't know if that's a TSA thing, if they're trying to say like you can, when you go through the security, TSA security, you can just lay this flat and you don't have to take your laptop or tablet out. But in my experience, and I travel a lot, I've never once been to a place where they didn't make you take it out, even if you had one of these so-called TSA friendly bags. They don't even recognize that. So I don't know where that whole idea came from, but it doesn't work. So you're gonna have to take your tablet and your laptop out anyways. So I don't know why they have it open all the way, and it's not gusseted. There's no way to keep this like kind of like not from fully opening other than with the zippers. And as a result, you can't really stick anything extra in here, because if you do and you open this thing up, the stuff's gonna fall out. I don't really like that design. What they should have done is just gusseted it on both sides. That would have been much better. In this pocket here, everything else. So this pocket's good actually. So I'm not gonna rag on that. The zippers, although high quality, I found them a bit, even with the zipper pulls, they're kind of the first pocket here is easy to open and close. It's not too bad, but the main compartment, man, it's pretty hard to unzip and zip. You basically have to use two hands to do it. It's not easy to unzip and zip. Maybe that's by design, and that could be a good thing and a bad thing. Personally, I prefer it to be easier to unzip and zip. This is essentially the Nebula backpack. They've taken the backpack straps off and put on one strap to make it a sling. So this part of it is no different than a regular backpack, because everything's top loaded. Makes it sort of just a backpack sling. Like I was showing you earlier, when you want to access this for quick access, if you slide this around, you can't really get to your stuff like you would like a traditional sling that has like a side opening. This one, for some reason, they didn't do that. So when you open this up, your stuff it could potentially fall out from the main compartment. But if you have it stored in the other secondary pocket, this is all meant to be top loaded. So it just, I don't know, it's kind of odd for the zipper design, the way you access this to be top loaded, but yet it's a sling. So kind of weird in my opinion. Yeah, so if you need to get to your stuff, you're gonna have a hard time getting to it, kind of, or it's gonna be awkward when you have it sit around, or you got to just take the whole bag off, put it on the ground, and then take the stuff out. So that's kind of a weird thing. And then yeah, let me get onto the price. The price of this thing, we're talking $75 for this. I've got other slings that are cheaper than this, that are way better, like way better designed, way better quality, much more padding. I'll name a couple here. One of them is the original Osprey Daylight Sling. That one was better than this, just because of the strap. The padding was much better. It was slightly smaller, of course, and it might not have fit a laptop, but who carries around a laptop with a sling? The other sling that's also really good is the Patagonia Atom. That one is awesome. And then there's also slings that Alpaca makes that are great, and all of those retail for less than this one. I think all of them retail for around like $65. Maybe the Alpaca one is kind of a little bit pricier, but that one is like full on high quality. You can't even beat that with this. This comes nowhere close to that. So overall, not a complete miss, but it's not something that I would recommend to people that are hardcore sling carriers that like to use these for camera equipment and day travel. Okay, so for my final rating for this bag, although it does have some good things and there are bad things, they kind of even out. But overall, when I compare this to other sling bags that I've had in the past, I would give this an average rating of a 5 out of 10. As always, if you found this video to be helpful, then go ahead and hit that like button down below, and please consider subscribing to our channel. See you in our next review.